Hello everyone, Justin with Deep Dive Stocks here, and today I thought we might do a quick dive into Deep Dive Stocks' new market scan. In this video, we're going to go over the market scan improvements, the addition of the market scan search ability on the data dashboard, and we're going to finish off with our visions of the future and how the market scan already has plans for improvement. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the first things you'll notice when you log into the dashboard is this new market scan button, which, as the name may imply, takes you right to the market scan. The market scan is designed for you to be able to choose the date of the scan results that you want, as well as the criteria of the stocks that you want to populate. When you head over to the market scan tab, the first thing you'll notice is the blue box, which outlines all of the possible choices that you can select for finding stocks that have those events. You can also go all the way back to 2018 if you would like to see older scan results and how those stocks eventually played out. If we go to our current date, if I can remember it, we can look at, for instance, VoEx Spikes. We hit VoEx Spike, we hit search, and we are populated with a list of stocks that have had a VoEx spike on the 22nd. If we scroll down, we see it is quite an extensive list. We can also search for a specific stock if we want to see if it had a VoEx spike. And we see that out of the 138 entries, SPY did not have a VoEx spike. The spike amount tells us how large of a spike the spike was. So if we look at ARK, which is a pretty large ETF, we see that it had a negative 32.36% VoEx spike. This means the VoEx spike was negative, and we can even visualize this if we head over to the VoEx tab and ask for ARK. We see that VoEx did indeed spike down quite substantially. We can also mix and match different criteria that we want to search for in the market. Suppose we want to look for VoEx spikes and for stocks that moved more than the expected price range. A pretty classic combination of stocks that do experience a VoEx spike. They moved more than the market was expecting, and something underneath did not like that. So we hit spike and greater than EPR, and we are met with stocks that had both a VoEx spike and moved more than the expected price range. The spike amount is still here, telling us how big the spike was. The current value for VoEx is here. And we have another column here, greater than EPR amount, which gives us the percent difference between the closing price and what the expected limit was for that price movement, if it was above or below, as indicated by greater than EPR or less than EPR. When we start combining events, we start noticing that the event tree will keep tabs of all of the events that we have combined so that we don't get lost if we start mixing and matching too much. Anytime we want to look at a specific stock, say we want to look at DKS, we can head over to the single stock tab, type DKS in, and get all of the information we need on DKS. We see that its VoEx is in the inhibition zone and that it just approached or entered the inhibition zone. And we see some other cool findings as well. Some of the findings on the market scan do have their own unique columns or data that are included in the scan results. Let's go ahead and take a look at those now. We already saw that VoEx spikes will give you the VoEx amount, or how large of a spike occurred. For instance, ADP had a VoEx spike of 80, or it moved 80% from its previous value to its current value. Sometimes a VoEx spike, just the way that math works, will present as a large change. For instance, VoEx went from 0.02 to 1.15, which mathematically is quite the large jump, but we see visually this VoEx spike isn't that compelling. So it's always good to check VoEx visually as well as with the numbers. Another VoEx finding that comes with its own metric is VoEx Erratic. VoEx Erratic looks for VoExes that are, well, erratic. In other words, VoEx is not behaving how it normally behaves on a particular stock. This could be pretty good in catching just stocks that are doing some wild things or stocks that might be doing some wild things in the near future. The erraticness is simply the z-score or the statistical analysis of VoEx's behavior. The larger the value, the more it deviates from VoEx's previous behavior on this stock. So for instance, if we look at Posh, it has a score of 1.07. So if we go over to the VoEx tab and look at Posh, we do in fact see that lately it has been behaving pretty drastically, or some might say it's been pretty erratic. Another selection that comes with additional information is in the Gamma Squeeze section. We see when we ask for all of the stocks that are currently in a Gamma Squeeze, we get 2 additional bits of information. We get the length that the stock has been in a Gamma Squeeze, which is the number of trading days, and we get the percent change in price since the stock has started its Gamma Squeeze. So for instance, we see here that FaZe has been in a Gamma Squeeze for 56 days, and it has lost 85% of its value since starting the Gamma Squeeze. Another selection indicator that comes with additional information is the Gamma Squeeze trending. Now these are the stocks that are trending towards a Gamma Squeeze based on how their delta and gamma are changing. Essentially, it looks for stocks that have a persistently declining value that is getting closer and closer to negative, or a combination of values that indicate that a Gamma Squeeze is becoming likely. Once this is determined, the algorithm then searches to see how long it should take before gamma becomes below 0 or negative, which is one of the classic definitions of a Gamma Squeeze. Once this occurs, a Gamma Squeeze is started. So we see here that BCD is trending towards a Gamma Squeeze over the past several weeks, and it should take about 3 more days before it reaches a negative gamma state. Pretty nifty. Moving from the Gamma Squeeze section to the expected price range section, we see that if we ask for the stocks that moved more than the expected price range, either by appreciating much more in price than the market was expecting, or falling much more in price than the market was expecting, we also get this value that is the expected price range amount, or how much it moved beyond the expected price range. This is the percent difference between the stock's closing price and what the stock's expected price range was. The larger the value, the more of a difference, or the more the stock overshot the expected price range. And lastly, if we move from the expected price range to LDPM crossovers, we get something very similar. It tells us the stocks that experienced an LDPM crossover and if the indication was bullish or bearish. That means if it's bullish, that the price is now above LDPM, and if it is bearish, the price is now below LDPM. So that about covers it for the main features of the market scan. It's been really fun lately combining different criteria and getting a glimpse, honestly, that has not really been available to deep dive stocks until this market scan has been discovered, at least not by automatic means. This is something that usually I would have to do manually with the data, and so it's very cool to have this here now that is just completely automatic and for all members to be able to explore. For instance, lately I've been very interested in stocks that have a VoEx in the propagation zone and are trending towards Gamma Squeezes. There's quite a number. And in moving towards the future, there are not only additional criteria that I would like to add to the market squeeze or to the market scan, but rather there are also additional data that I would like to incorporate in the findings of the market scan. For instance, I think it would be very cool with stocks that had a VoEx spike to be able to demonstrate or place on the results how likely it is that the stock will either have a bullish or a bearish outcome because of the VoEx spike. That's something that Deep Dive Stocks is working on now, and a lot of that type of additional information that isn't clutter is being added to many of these selection criteria to help select and find and refine the findings to best suit the individual's needs. The same goes for the single stock, where I would like to add additional information, hopefully to making this page much more of a one-stop shop for any decisions, or at least for any triaging that might be done when looking for interesting stocks. Well, that about covers it for the market scan update. I hope that you guys have fun with it. I've been having, honestly, a blast. Let me know what combinations of market scan findings you guys are finding to be the most interesting, and I'll let you know if I find anything interesting myself. For now, that's all I have for you guys. Happy trading, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.